the elation of J.S. Bach and the first of his Brandenburg concertos, number 1, and that was a recording of the Bath Festival Orchestra, Chamber Orchestra with Yehudi Menuhin. So yes, we are fine-tuning operations and we're right to go, I think, for an afternoon missions. I was actually a little bit distracted. You got the extended entry today because Kate's just come back from a beekeeping course. She wants to have bees, so been hearing all about that. So there we have it, another enterprise. So what we'll do is I'll just check that all systems are indeed operational. I think they are. And we had an excellent missions last night. We had face-to-face missions with Jamie and with Frank, and sampled some really rare recordings from Jamie's collection. A lot of jazz-inspired recordings, syncopated dance band, jazz recordings from the 1930s through to the 50s. It was a really interesting session, and it's just such a privilege to play these original recordings. These are authentic discs we played right through last night. Every record was on the table. So, an authentic missions. One of the records, which Jamie very kindly passed my way, is a recording of Harvey Ball and his Virginians. This is a rare record, and he happened to have a duplicate, so we'll take pride place here in the Australiana collection. And Harvey Ball was visiting Australia in 1928 and made a couple of records for Vocalion in Burke Street. So we'll have a listen to that again. We did sample it last night, but this is quite fascinating. So, a Vocalion record made in Melbourne. This is vk3sl testing on 160 and on UHF, and also streaming online. The name of the track is My Ohio Home. A rarity from Melbourne in the 1920s, 1928 in fact. So, yes, Harvey Ball and his Virginians now.
Sounding just as good as last night.
Ah, yes, with the big thumping bass drum there.
Actually, it doesn't sound as good as on your speakers.
Yes, it was quite a session last night, wasn't it, Frank?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful, Steve.
Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah. You're right? Yeah, okay. Now, just a quick comment about that recording. I've tried to do some research, and there's a picture of the group on one of the Flickr sites listed as the Virginians with Harvey Ball. Now, someone's popped up and said, "My grandfather Lee Stall is on the far right in this picture." And this person says, "This was a US-based band on a tour of Australia in 1928. I think the band was from Los Angeles and not Virginia, and I think the name Harvey Ball is made up."
That's incredible.
So there we go. There's another tangent. So we'll have to see if we can discover more about this obscurity. It's only two sides.
It's amazing that it's a fairly, I would have thought, a fairly esoteric sort of a thing. If somebody who happened to have seen that so quickly has responded.
Yeah, it was put up a little while ago, but it's just on one of those photo archives.
Oh, I see.
And there's a picture of the group in, it says, Harvey Ball and the Virginians playing under J.C. Bendoit's direction at the Palais Royal in Sydney. So they must have been on tour and performed in Sydney. But they did make this one record in Melbourne, two sides.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, so it's all interesting.
I didn't realise what time. We had a visit from David, which is good.
Yeah.
Because he was cleaning out his room.
Sure.
Which is good for reasons that you know about.
Oh, yes, indeed. Definitely.
We're nearly there, I think.
Oh, that is nice to hear. Excellent. Oh, well, it's really positive news to hear that things are moving forward. Yes, look, our missions last night went to about 4 a.m.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible.
It was a long session. I commend it, folks. If you want to look on the log, it's full of really interesting Australian recordings from the early days. And it was just amazing to handle these artefacts and put them to air. And I think that that in itself is sort of brings you back into the zone, really, just having that level of authenticity about it all. For me, it does, at least, anyhow. So, it was just a terrific session, and Jamie just had so many interesting things material to offer, and it was great to have your company too there. Frank,
Thank you, and yours as always, Steve. It's one of the highlights of our of our radio operations.
Yeah, sure.
To have these live missions.
I think so, and we'll look forward to doing it again sooner than later, I hope. Yeah, it'd be great. So, I have to say I did sleep in a bit this morning, and but in between activities, I did spend some time trying to work on that Edison cylinder player, and I've had it's been quite a process, to be honest, because the machine has a number of mechanical problems which I wasn't aware of, and I think I've sort of sorted them, but some of the parts are really worn out. But I think I've got it tracking okay, and I was able to make up a little piezo electric pickup.
And yes, I know. Yes, the way you're talking.
Yeah, so look, I've tried it out. I think this warrants quite a lot of exploration before we really develop the concept fully. It's something. It's work in progress, and it was only about an hour ago that I actually had any success at all. And I won't necessarily say this is successful. It's heavily equalised, but at least I know that the positioning of the little piezo pickup inside the reproducer head on the cylinder player, you can position it to get different. You can vary the EQ by just the way it's positioned. So
it's like a pickup on a guitar, I guess.
Yes, it is. It's high impedance, so it doesn't really match into the mixer very well, and it's a bit hummy, and there's a few issues there. But look, that's something I'd like to further investigate. But I've got a box of rare Columbia cylinders that I don't think any of these are in the public domain, and I really wanted to hear some of them, because I have not been able to play these 2-minute cylinders. And there's some sort of rather rousing songs, and I thought this one might be fun to play. So I've got the set up here. I've got got the Edison standard phonograph, and a Columbia 2-minute wax cylinder, probably from about 1905, maybe even earlier. It's pretty early, this record. And so it's announced, and it's just a rousing, chorusy music hall song from the early days. But I think it's worth playing, and I'm quite excited about playing using this machine on air. So this might sort of herald things to come. I mean, it does, as I said, needs more work, but we'll get there. And so I'll just switch it in now. And there we go. That's switched in, and all I have to do is just start it off, get the thing rolling. Yeah, it really gummed up. It took a long time to release all of the bearings on this, but here we go. I think we're in the groove. It'll take a moment to queue up, but I think it's announced.
Popular chorus song, O, O, capital O, sung by Harry Bluff, Edison Bell Record. I've just been informed by the manager here that the reason I'm back at the Empire this year is because it states on my contract quite clear I must sing a song with a chorus. I found one at last. It's a terrible thing, till it must go with a rush and a swing. So when I sung it once, for goodness sake sing and bring down the roof with the chorus. If the song doesn't go, well, I do, that's all. So here and outside, this chorus please go. Oh, oh, capital O. Why it should be so I really don't know. Oh, oh, now let it go. If you don't know the chorus, sing oh, oh, oh. It's so simple enough, you'll soon figure out. Did you ever hear such rot in your life? I've more trouble with this than I have with my wife. I've been chased round the town by a man with a knife who's balmy through singing this chorus. The words, they are awful, the beat is all wrong, and it gets a lot worse to us as we go along. So please leave the hall if your heart isn't strong. It gets on your nerves with the chorus. In case you've forgotten this haunting refrain, I'll chant being shot and I'll sing it again. Oh, oh, capital O, why should be so I really don't know. Oh, oh, now let it go if you don't know the chorus. Oh, oh, oh. Well, there's somebody barking up there. You're the rottenest flea singers I ever heard in all my life. Now, we'll just try it once more, boys. Now, take your time from me. Now, you're ready. Now, let it go. Oh, capital O, that's it. Now then, that's it. If you don't know the chorus, sing oh, champion.
There we go. A Edison.
Who was the artist?
That's a good question. I'll have
Sounds
to.
like one of the very, I forgot just names on the tip of my tongue. He did most of the Edison stuff.
Yeah, it's a This is a Columbia cylinder.
Oh, Columbia, I probably did.
Yeah.
Across some brands. But
yeah, maybe.
It sounds like a very, I forget his name, but he was just about on everything from those
Yeah,
years.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it could be Will Denny or one of those. I'll just see. It's embossed on the edge. I'm just trying to read it now.
Sort of a music hall.
Yeah, it's a
sounding
music
song.
hall disc recording this one. It was this one I was using. I can't read it.
What year was it?
About 1905.
Yes, that's not a,
It's definitely a Columbia. So the Columbias are interesting.
Would it be a pressed one or a multiple recording?
Oh, it's a moulded cylinder.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to see what it's on. I can't. Yeah, there's no. I can't see it. Sorry, but
I'll just report a program excellent program, very entertaining.
Sure, thank you.
It was a good mix of music and comment, and from both of you or three of you, yeah, it was an excellent format.
Oh, it was interesting. It was a really interesting program
really
from
good
material.
Program, and quality was good, and yeah, I found it.
Oh, thanks,
quite
Dave.
fascinating.
Yeah, look, it's good to embrace that material. And Jamie's just got the most amazing collection. I'm just holding those Woe chord records made at 3PB.
Amazing.
There's only a couple of those in existence, and we had them here, so that was really quite something.
It is quite amazing. I saw you had 0 listeners on the stream.
Oh yes, that'd be right.
But I was just thinking maybe they were listening broadcasting on 160, but probably about 5 people listening.
You never know. Yep, 5 people got had the experience. Well, it's up there on the log if anyone feels like they'd like to waste 4 hours.
Well, I just had it on and thought, well, it was actually interesting enough to listen to the whole thing, which is saying something.
Oh, well.
And yeah.
Yeah, no,
So,
good material, and
and Jamie came through very well in his comments and stuff.
Well,
so,
that's
yeah.
right. He's got a lot to offer. His knowledge base is just extraordinary. I mean, both you, Frank, and Jamie are both encyclopedic. So
I don't know much about Jamie's stuff.
Oh, look, I think it was just great to have the knowledge base and the variety of program material.
Yeah, 3 PBA.
Yeah.
Brighton would have been very strong here.
Yes, it would have been.
Play dance music at night.
I think they broadcast with about 10 watts or something.
That's right. So.
I don't think it was a very powerful station.
Incredible, isn't it?
It is. But
Pemberton Billy, wasn't it?
yes, that's right. He was an English eccentric who was here for a while, then went back and got himself involved with that legal case, the cult of the clitoris case.
You did emissions on him one night.
Yes, we did. We looked at all his the legal case there. He had a few things to say about women and prominent female figures whose proclivities he didn't quite see eye to eye with, but it's another story.
Oh, well, you can't please everyone.
But he did spend some time in Australia and set up this plant in Brighton, which is significant because it's the first, really was the one of the earlier attempts at broadcasting, and also pressing records, and the format of promoting records that they themselves recorded on air is really significant. I mean, to think that they did it all under the one roof.
Yeah, garage or something. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, there's a great picture of the setup there. It's on the record cover, the Wocord cover, and it's got big 3 PB with electric lightning coming out of the insignia. Yeah, they are taking on board the wireless monogram.
10 watts.
That's right. Big,
201 tube or something.
yes, I think so. I don't think there was much to it, but anyhow, so that was most interesting to hear those records, and cardboard records made in Melbourne.
Could they bend and wreck them easily?
Very thick. They're about be half a centimetre thick, and with a very fine light substrate of shellac on top of the cardboard, so they couldn't bend them, but
right. So it's basically designed for cheapness or something.
Yes, that's right. And
they're double-sided?
Yes, they're double-sided, and they're 10-inch and 8-inch. But the thing is that they destroy after about 2 or 3 plays with a heavy pickup. And out of the 10 that survive, probably 9 of them have got needle digs and are damaged. And most of them probably were just thrown out. And but Jamie seems to have got pristine examples. Extraordinary.
That's absolutely incredible.
It is. Yeah. So.
Well, as he said, it's almost a year, or the last big missions you had.
Yes, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's worked out quite well.
Yeah,
and,
we'll continue with the
banter between the tracks and things was quite entertaining.
Oh yes, a few.
So you're on a good thing there. Have some more, even though it was postponed a couple of weeks.
That's right. Yes, we had a few events to keep us waiting.
When it came up.
Yeah, it was certainly worthwhile.
I was most impressed by your new 160-metre transmitter, Steve.
Oh, right. Yes, it's working very well.
Wonderful.
Yep, it's good. And we've got 160 and 70s up and running well, and we've got the streaming service, so everything's well-oiled and doing what it should. Yeah, so...
Where did you get the piezoelectric for that?
I went down this morning. I had to borrow a car, and I went down to Rockby and got some little piezoelectric, just little membranes. And I was following the lead of someone online who made one of these pickups. It's pretty agricultural at best, but I think it would. I've mucked around with it a lot, and if you get the position right, you get really good bass. So that suggests that if you just took more time to understand the tolerances and the positioning, and if I had a better impedance matching arrangement, I think that would help as well. I've got I've got a 1K resistor in series, but I think we could probably find it warrants experimentation anyhow, and it would be good to use it this way. I can't be bothered.
Considerable mismatch, wouldn't it, into the...
Yes, it's not quite loading properly, and it's already hummy and everything, but at least it's a step forward, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time.
I think some people have built a new like a player with modern, DC controlled motors or something, and you get much less wow.
That's right.
And only the wow on the recording machine.
That's it. Well. No, look, there are much more elegant ways forward.
That's right.
Yeah.
And using a 120-year-old replay machine probably is a bit authentic, I suppose.
Yes, but it's not.
It probably doesn't sound as good as it did.
Not as good. Not as good. Look, I have got ambition. I wouldn't mind. I was in touch with a fellow. I put up a query on a forum a while ago, months ago, and a chap got back to me who's in Melbourne, and he's got some Edison parts. He's got the table of I think it's a Triumph, one of the really high-end machines. He's prepared to pass on quite cheaply, and I was thinking of getting a DC stepper motor and to sort of make. He's just got the base plate and mandrel and the working the top part, and that would probably work quite well. And it would serve as a basis for putting together an electric cylinder player, and then I just use a Stanton cartridge and starting. So I could do that. There's quite a few cylinders here, but the thing is, most of them are in the public domain anyhow.
Well, probably someone who's done them properly.
Yes.
Probably
yes.
spent hours trying to get the best
That's
quality.
right. And look, when we know of some significant archives with large quantities of cylinders, so it's probably not really worth it. But look, if I can be bothered and if it's cheap enough, I might just go with it for the experience.
Yeah,
but something else to do, yeah, my spare time.
Two Edison cylinder players, a couple of 78 turntables.
That's right. Yes.
Play everything live on air.
That'd be the way. Yeah, you could just do everything live. But I have to say, there's something quite enjoyable about using original material and just going with it that way, rather than just queuing things up on playlists. There's,
definitely.
There's a bit of theatre involved in the queuing, and
I've got 3 Beyer turntables, 16-inch Beyers here.
Yeah.
I really only need 2. So
look, I might borrow one from you.
Yeah, put it in your desk because that one you've got is crap.
Yes.
And you need a proper.
I need one I can queue up on properly because this one I can't queue, and it takes ages to start, and then it's not so good. But
I'm not ever going to need. Why do I need 3? I mean, why do I need 1? Maybe I need 1.
Well, you might need. You'll have 2 booths soon.
That's right. Yes. So we need Beyer turntables, but maybe not.
Yes.
I've got a pristine CE turntable.
Well, that's right. You do. You've got a very nice unit there. But
you do need 16-inch to play the Pathays or the transcription discs.
Yes, that's right. It works much better that way. But look, at some point that could be a good thing to do, because I am getting a bit sick of trying to queue up on this.
Well, why doesn't it? What's the problem with queuing on it?
Oh, it's a domestic machine. It's made for semi-professional use, but it's not designed as a. It hasn't got the fast start capacity. It's got a clutch rather than a switch. And you sort of clunk it into gear, but it doesn't pick up straight away.
Right, yeah.
So it's not designed for a radio station. It's more of just a transcription array of some kind.
Yeah, which not for on-air presentation.
No, that's right. Yeah, you need something that's a good fast start. Yeah. But anyhow, so that could be good. Anyhow, so we'll see if we can. We'll keep these live missions going and see if we can do another one with Mr. J and Mr. JR at some point.
Did you come on with Gus this morning?
Yes, I had a chat with Gus. Yeah, caught up with him.
Michael?
Yes, and Michael was there. Had a talk with Michael and Gus.
Clint?
And Clint was there for a bit. I couldn't hang around for very long, but...
they went on till after midday.
Oh, did they really? Okay. Oh, very good.
It's interesting...
And Gus?
Yes, sure. Dave?
It's interesting with all the Ukraine stuff, and you played some Ukraine music last night.
Yes,
but,
yes.
Of all the things that you can watch, which I was doing actually last night while your program was on, I was just watching live streams of the tanks from the streets.
Oh, yes.
Terrible stuff. But there's all that live streaming, yet they've banned ham radio in Ukraine.
They banned ham radio,
yes,
really?
On the thing, the police state not allowed. It cancelled. They've cancelled all ham radio.
Really?
Yet you can stream on the web, do emails. It doesn't matter.
It's just bizarre.
Like, I think they must have looked, oh, what did we do in 1930? Oh, yeah, we
Yes.
banned ham radio. We better do it again.
Yep.
I mean,
It's crazy,
pointless.
isn't it?
I can't even see the point of doing it.
Yes, well,
It's ridiculous.
Isn't it just crazy? Strange things happen. I think it's more about seeing to ban things they can control. Perhaps it's more about the sort of orchestration of it rather than the actual practical
I think
side.
so. I mean, if anyone's going to send clandestine messages to Russia, you just pick a random frequency at random time and just do it. No one would know.
That's right.
You're not
exactly.
going to do it on 3670 and call CQDX and pass on important information. I mean,
Yes.
really, it's back to the spy suitcase radio mentality.
Yes, indeed. It sounds like it
They
is.
make much better ones now than they used to.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Spread spectrum where you can't even detect it's there.
Yeah.
Yet they're worried about someone using Morse code on,
That's
on
right.
20 meters or something.
You're not going to get ham radio people doing much frequency hopping and things like that.
It just sounds like, have they also banned 2-meter repeaters? Have they banned, like, I assume they have a CB service there. Have they banned that as well? Yet you can use your phone. I mean, what? It's just, it's absolutely stupid.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's quite a thing in Ukraine, ham radio. I remember when I was walking in the Ukraine, we saw the fox hunters with their little antennas climbing mountains, doing their thing. So yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like
that was a long
if
time
something
ago.
went bad here, I wouldn't be surprised they banned it because they can.
I think it's just being seen to do
we'll
things.
ban ham radio, and we'll leave all the other networks running, but we upset somebody, and that's good.
That's right. Well, it just sort of it gives a certain impression, and I think it's more about the hubris than anything else, really. A lot of these things are, yes, it's sort of bad theatre, but that's what happens. But it's a shame, and I guess we won't be able to look at the waterfall of the the SDRs now and see them jamming, using, doing all sorts of strange things
That's
there.
right, yes.
But maybe that was a part of it. Maybe they thought that had a certain, yeah.
You like to ban SDRs, I suppose. Who knows?
Well, that's right. That's interesting. I wonder if are there any SDRs in Ukraine that
I'll
are
have
of
to have
note?
a look. That'll be quite interesting. It might be free of interference now.
Yeah, that's right. It could well be. I'm sure banning it won't do anything at all. I'm sure there'll be plenty of activity of one kind or another. But yes, it's interesting. Yes. Yeah, it's all a bit alarming, isn't it? I feel quite sensitised to it because I've done a fair bit of walking in the Ukraine, and I feel a connection to their ethnicity and to especially the southern Ukraine, the area which is sort of more a part of Europe, really, or traditionally it was, and to think that it's probably not going to be an easy situation for them.
Well, it's the second biggest country in Europe. It's got the largest amount of arable land in Europe.
Yeah.
It's got a massive amounts of iron ore and other minerals. You can see why it's being targeted.
Oh, yes.
It's a prize country, 40 million people.
Yep.
And it's not some tin pot regime. And you see the video, it's cultured cities.
Yes.
It's like, I was looking at the stuff, it's like your suburban street and there's jets flying over, strapping and tanks in the street, like it happened in your street or my street.
Yes.
And it's the first war that's actually been covered by the phone.
Yeah, it's
of
interesting.
Just vision, people poking out the window and streaming it.
That's it.
It's like, that's what World War II would have looked like if that technology had existed.
If they had existed, yeah.
And it's just absolutely mind-blowing seeing it happen in real time on your own computer.
Yes, it's like a spectator sport, really. I find that all. I mean, I feel a need to observe to some degree and understand what's going on, but at the same time, the way it happened a bit with the Iraq War too. It's sort of presented like a football game.
Yes, that's right.
And I find all that sort of a bit repugnant. It's just sort of yes, horrible stuff. So I just hope that I just feel so much for those poor people who are displaced and families broken up and people getting really cold because there's no heating and just all of the terrible human cost that goes
a
to
lot
something.
more to come, I think.
And I think it's going to be a hell of a lot more. And it's just.
I think it has. I do your programs until they're turned off. I think you'll get the notification one day.
Yeah. Okay.
Not because it's bad, but because everyone's gone off.
Yeah. Well,
no
who
more
knows?
radio, no more.
Who can knows? Who can knows? But it's a. It's particularly volatile at this point in time.
Who would have believed still, it's all happening.
It is, indeed.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a bit of normality with your programs, I guess. And,
Oh, yes.
You might
Yeah.
be doing some more the way these things are going.
Well, who knows? You just take
Good
one
grounding
step.
stuff, Steve.
Yeah, one step at a time. It's it's a happening thing, and there's plenty of source material.
I was just thinking with the emitters there. Normally, all mine have got interlocks, so you can't put audio in, and the audio is bypassed if the HT isn't on.
Yes.
Because and I was going to do that with app emitters, but because the UM1 it got hot and I couldn't. I had to, and it all didn't work out that way. I didn't put it in, but I think I have popped a UM3 by having audio in with no load. So just make sure you don't put audio
Thank you
in
for
with
that.
no
Thank you
HT.
for the warning. That's yes, I inadvertently did do that the other day, and
because it means the hot voltages go incredibly high and can zap
Yes.
the performers.
yes, indeed. So I just make sure that everything is the HT's on.
If
Yeah.
you in the PTT circuits, I had a relay that just cut off the audio if the HT wasn't on,
Yes.
and it's worthwhile doing.
Yes.
Otherwise, and you can have it just blasting music out or something if the transmitter's not even on, and it's just splatting the transformer.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. If
Okay.
that won't happen, or just manually make sure it doesn't happen.
Just make sure I just make sure there's no program until the HT's on.
That's right. Yes.
Yes, I'll just meticulously look at that. Yes, the other day I had the oscillator going without the HT, and then there was a bit of a splat event. That was quite interesting.
It's
Technically.
amazing how it's splat. It still transmits. I just can't see it. I'll have to look how it works because there's no
Yes.
RF there. It just
No.
transmits around the band,
It seems to.
and it's actually intelligible.
That is fascinating.
It's fascinating, and you don't even need an RF generator to transmit on the air. Just
Yes.
a big audio amp into a tuned circuit, and it
Yes,
will work.
and it'll work.
Yeah, incredible.
That is amazing.
Is that what they used to do with loop modulation?
I think it was something like that.
Something
yes.
a bit like that.
I think that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, it's intriguing, isn't it? Yeah, actual fact.
It's a sort of induction, but it can't be in terms of RF.
I know.
The other night when you turned the transmitter off,
Yes.
I was listening here on the AM3, and when you turned the carrier off,
Yes.
the level didn't drop, it just got more distorted.
How interesting.
And it can't be centered on any particular frequency because there's nothing there to center.
No.
It just must be the band pass of the PA circuit.
That's what it would be.
Yeah.
That alone is centering things.
Yeah, it sort of sounded a bit like semi-distorted sideband, but
Right.
you can still understand it. I thought, God,
Yes.
that's incredible.
Incredible. Yeah, no, that's really intriguing. I would never have thought that was possible, but you've obviously observed it before. So, that's as well. So, interesting stuff. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on things. It's good to have this emitters independent from the one I come up on Saturday mornings. I think it's quite good to have two discrete systems. I think that's a
Now,
good
I think I listened last Saturday.
Oh, yes.
And you're talking to Gus.
Oh, yes.
On the AM3, Gus was much better quality than you were.
Yeah, right.
That B emitters does sound pretty crap.
Yes.
And Gus was actually quite clean.
Right, that's good. Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, it's probably, I'd say the oscillator is the problem, and if it's not the tuned circuit, it's probably not that difficult to fix. I could probably put in the code and just directly input into that emitters, and it would probably work quite okay. But
for an hour a week, who cares?
yeah, for an hour a week, I'm not sort of bothered. But it also might be that PA amp, because that PA amp was just hopeless with the when I started that other PA amp, the radio parts one. So look, when the fests start up again, I'll get another PA amp and try it out on the Barry mitts, and you never know, it might actually be.
Have you tried that? Feed it into a 100 ohm resistor and just listen off a speaker and see if it's distorted, if something's wrong with it.
Yeah, I should do that. That's a thought. I could do that. Yeah, but the 100 volts line doesn't even work on that, and it was just a 70 volt sort of did, but it was really just horrible waveform. So I should do something a bit more comprehensive with it.
Well, next time there's a Hamfest in 2020, you might be able to buy some PA amps.
Yes, I'm sure there'll be plenty around. Yeah, they turn up. So yeah, we'll find something
Now,
else.
apparently Anthony's moved to Dubton.
Oh yes, no, he's partnered up. He's found a new lady friend.
All right.
So yes, he's
Good luck to him.
yeah, that's right. So he was talking about that, and wow, that's yeah. She'll have to have a garage full of stuff. Go with Anthony.
Yeah, I was down that area and I texted him that I'm in the area. If you, give a call in the next hour, I'll drop in or something. But,
Oh yes.
He came back, said he's not living there anymore.
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Oh goodness me. Well, that's exciting for him. Well, I'm glad things of the planets have aligned for Anthony back in Melbourne again.
Coffee break.
Yeah, you might hear him come up on the air a bit more. We haven't heard Anthony for ages. He might even do his own missions on 3686, I think they were, on 80
That's right.
metres.
He did that for a little while there.
Yes, that was ongoing, and then he had a 40-metre net at one point, I think, as well.
You did?
So, yeah, but that'll be a while before we get 40 metres back. Oh, those were the days, weren't they? 40 metres. But,
Well, it's worked so well for about a year that it just doesn't work anymore.
yeah, I know. Remember,
It was just incredible.
it was amazing. We had that period, it must have been about a decade ago now, and I never forget, there was some test material, I don't know where it came from, but it was outstanding audio quality, and I was up at Inverloch, I was at Venus Bay or something, and just kicking back listening to opera, and down at Point Hicks as well, and
Yes,
it was
that's right.
just a full strength. It was just sounded so good.
It's amazing, and I've logged a lot of those contacts too that the group used to have on them.
Yes.
And just like 2 metres, fantastic.
Yeah.
All around the state, New South Wales,
That's right.
and no, it doesn't work anymore.
It's just
people
gone.
banned.
Yeah, it is indeed. Well, I suppose in 30 years' time, we might probably in the next decade we'll probably get the cycle will bring it back to the fore again.
I did some just carrier tests on 5,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking on the SDRs, just 100 watts.
Mm.
You're getting 40, 50 dB signal to noise. Absolutely incredible.
Right.
It's just, you look at it, it's just 100 watts, 1,000 kilowatt kilometres away, just like
Yes.
massive.
Wow.
If you pick the right time of day,
Yes.
it'll be, to get one of those frequencies will be just
It would be
amazing.
so good. I remember Mr. 5040 used to shine through here just at that grey line
sunset,
period.
Sunrise time.
Yes, I remember it was on the AR88 here. He came through so well, and I think this is like a local station. And but of course he's no more. But so what's happened to his frequency since his?
Probably Mr. Tate's brought them up, I think, something like that.
Yeah, something's happened.
So, anyway, it's all very interesting.
So no more developments on that front?
Look, I'm trying to find his email address, some phone number to give a
Yes.
personal communication to him.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Because he's got so many channels.
Yes.
Surely he could just lend
You
one.
think he could just hire one out to you? And just,
pay him what he pays.
Yes.
The department a bit more. And,
That's right.
And it's he's got nothing to lose, because
No?
at least it's being used. If he gets a better offer, he's telling me to piss off.
Hmm.
And he should be amenable too.
You
and
think
you'd think
so?
he'd be interested to know that at least someone's using one of his channels.
Well, that's right. Yes.
And you see, I think a lot of people have trouble with program material,
Yeah.
whereas we really don't.
Well, that's it. I mean,
I've got about 1,000 hours of your crap I can put on.
yeah, that's right.
edited, and
Yes.
just like,
And you've got an endless cycle of your own.
Oh.
You know, you've got hundreds of thousands of hours.
look, there's so much stuff. There's so much interesting music you can put on, and it's just unlimited, really.
It is. It's never been easier, really.
And
You just got to have the imagination for it.
yeah, a lot of people just don't have that. They don't know what to put on.
They don't know.
and they put the same old 60s hits on.
They do.
Which, they're okay, but I'm sick of them.
Yes.
And it's just so
Oh, it'd be
much
great to
more-
play a lot of ethnic music. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And look, there's so much, and it's not that it's not that difficult to dial up. I mean, you can just look up anything really and find assembled playlists already there.
I know you can do that.
And I mean, it's really it's very straightforward.
And just an automatic ident or something.
That's all you need, and you could just go with something
rip.
that's pre-existing. I think. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. But anyhow, it'll come around. I think these things are slow, and people, of course, are slow on the uptake after all of the disruption to our lives. So let's hope it all comes to fruition soon. It'll be good. Yay! All right. Did you get to see that extraordinary film Siege of the South? It was on Mr. L's channel last week. He put it up with Hurley. It was Tom Hurley's program.
Yeah, look, think I've seen that stuff. It's all on YouTube anyhow.
Yeah, sure.
He's just taken off YouTube. I think I have looked at it in the past.
Yeah, right.
But
Okay.
it is pretty impressive stuff. I
It's
haven't looked
incredible.
at it. At least it's on the logs. I can look at it at any time.
Yes, that's right. It's there, and it was just such an interesting material. Just
It was fascinating, wasn't it?
yeah, really amazing to see Mawson and
Even without the viz, it was
yeah,
terrific.
sure, yeah.
Well, Mr. Frank Hurley, I was given a book in 6th grade. It was called Once More on My Journey or something like that.
Right.
And it was the biography of Frank Hurley, my sister, I think, or
Okay.
daughter or something.
Yes. Yes.
And I read that, and I thought, that changed my life. I thought, this is, to some extent, it's sort of what did happen.
Yep.
But I thought, wow, going to these places, exploring, photographing, filming all this stuff, that I read that, and I thought, wow, this is what sort of area I'd like to get into, which is some minor point I did. But it's fascinating stuff. I had his first photographs and his about his exploits in the south and and Shackleton. That was
Well, he was in that
story.
sort of that epic Shackleton trip when they got stuck for 2 years.
Totally stuck. They were stuck. We were about 2 years. They were stuck on Elephant Island for 2 years under a boat.
Yeah, under a boat. I know. It's just beggars disbelief to think that everyone survived from that particular expedition, and it's probably the greatest survival story. It have to be.
Absolutely amazing.
It is totally. I remember when I was living in London, I went to Dulwich College and had a look at that boat, and I couldn't stop walking around it, just looking at it and imagining that story, thinking this is the artifact, this is the boat. And they built it up. You could see where they built it up and made it sort of larger using carpentry from the mothership that got crushed, and it's just such a telling story, incredible. So he survived all that, and then became a war correspondent with these doctored up images.
Oh yeah, the over the top composite picture.
Yes.
The photographs weren't exciting enough,
Exactly.
and you had to boost them by doing multiple exposures.
He did.
Looked very busy with tanks and shotguns.
I know, and
planes,
biplanes up and above.
I know, Frank Hurley. I know he was my he was my poster boy when I was a kid.
Yes.
And I thought Frank Hurley and Len Bedell. My famous
they're your heroes, childhood heroes.
They were my childhood heroes.
Excellent. Oh, that's great. Now, look, I have to say I have a great respect for Mr. Hurley. I think it's great that he doctored things up. I think he needs to sort of give a slightly larger-than-life picture sometimes.
Well, you have to. In those days, he made a still picture look like a newsreel.
He did.
That was the whole point.
That's right, exactly. It was. And
the
it does.
technology wasn't there. And he did drag those big 35mm cameras out and film stuff as well.
And in this film we saw last week, he's up on the top of the ship with a handheld camera in these massive seas, the surging oceans. And here he is up on the bowsprit and filming these. And the amazing thing is the Discovery still exists, that ship. It's in Dundee, I think, now.
Really?
Had hull timbers 2 feet thick. Incredible vessel. If I ever go there, I'd like to see that. But amazing story of sea travel and just incredibly.
It is. And then when the ship got crushed and all the films were underneath the sea, he dived in and got them out.
He did. He got the plates out, didn't he? That's right.
And then Shackleton, that's right. Him and Shackleton, they had like hundreds of plates.
They smashed a lot of them, didn't they?
And Shackleton said, look, you can take 20.
Yeah.
And which is, their life depended on what they were carrying and
That's
stuff.
right, of course.
And they looked through them and they said, yes, no, smash. So there's no second thought. And they only kept the very best.
Yeah.
Because if you start, when you look,
I know.
that's almost as good, but that's not quite as good. You know how it is, you can never make your mind up.
You can't make your mind up. You've got to act impulsively.
You say, okay, that's better than that one, smash. Good, finished. On to the next one.
Yes. Yep.
So
okay.
And they did get a good selection, which they took back, which was great.
That's it. So, but I imagine there'll still be a lot of stuff underneath the. It's probably there forever. It won't deteriorate at those temperatures.
It's not frozen in the ice age.
Yeah, that's it.
It might turn up in Botany Bay one day.
You
like
never
there,
know.
Iceberg.
You never can
Global
know.
cooling, it could come up there, and the boat could just roll up on the shore and all Hurley's films and plates would just
They
pop
might
out.
all pop out there. They
What a
might.
laugh.
Yes.
And he probably I think he took an Edison machine. He could make
Yes.
recordings of seals and stuff.
That's right. You could get all of the sound effects. That's interesting too. So, yeah, Mr. Hurley, he was a maverick character and he did the narration on this. So I thought that was most impressive.
It's good narration. It was very sort of early 20th century sort of sound.
Yeah, he sort of makes sort of the creatures, he gives, what's the word, makes them have human qualities.
Yes,
So,
anthropomorphized.
that's the word. So yes, I thought that's all a bit funny, and they're all riding on the backs of seals and playing sports, which is a little bit non-PC, but I quite enjoyed it.
What are you going to do? You know, there's not a lot of TV to watch or anything
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
right. Big bull seals and things.
That's right. And of course, when
Yeah.
they had a record player, but when they ordered the needles, they were knitting needles, not stylus needles.
Really?
And that was a big problem. So they thought, well, bugger it, we'll just play them with nails. The records are wrecked anyhow.
Yes.
And they only had about 10 boxes of styluses.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the rest were knitting needles.
Oh,
Someone
is
made
that
a mistake
funny?
in the ordering.
Yes.
And that was a big. I remember reading the book that.
Oh, there's a brilliant story. I love it. Yeah. There we go. Yes, sir. And in this recent one, they had their the Banzai expedition on this film. They had their HMV 101D from, as for entertainment. But I suppose it's all about getting the commercial rights and getting that's what paid for it all.
Yeah, it's now those films. I remember we used to when we had film. We used to have film nights at Plunkett Avenue. And we used to go to the State Film Centre. I hired all those films. I didn't have to pay.
Yeah.
But we used to have film nights. I think we had often you'd have Frank Hurley films.
Oh, good.
Because all those things were available.
Yes.
On
Yes.
real 16mm.
Yeah.
Probably don't look as good as the ones on YouTube.
Yes.
Because they're all scratched and.
Yes. But there's a mystique about that
There's
too.
a mistake, the noise, and the
Yes.
almost unintelligible optical soundtrack.
That's right, and the clatter of the projector,
Yes,
and
that's right.
and every so often it spews all the film out, and you've got to stop
Yes, it's totally. Then reel changes. You have a cup of tea or champagne. You
That's
talk
right.
about stuff.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
Like a couple of reels can last a whole night.
Yes, that's right.
And
You
it was
can.
all a good exciting
Oh
thing.
yes, I think so. Yeah,
And,
it's the
I'd-
way to do it.
I'd go through the racks at the telecine department and borrow for the night, and the film was ready for transmission. Make
Okay.
sure they didn't get scratched. Of course.
Yes, of course. That's right.
And,
Do a preview.
Yeah, that was all
Preview.
good fun.
Preview.
Put them through the Hokkishin projector.
Yes. Oh, excellent.
Didn't trust the Victor. I thought it was a bit old, might scratch.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, so all very exciting. But look,
Yes.
I must get back and look at that session from last week because that was probably quite
Oh,
a good,
there's
compile.
there's some good material there. And did you end up getting that? I can't remember what happened with that small ejectors, the little 8mm one.
Oh, look, I'm sure it works okay. I'll clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a good clean up, and I'm sure it'll work fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
Oh,
globe
good.
and everything works, so I think it's fine.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm pleased that that has a purpose. Yeah. Do you see much dual sprocket 16mm film around? Because Reeford gave me this old Bell and Howe projector from 1928, which is it's just a museum piece really, but I've only got one film with dual sprockets. It's a 16mm silent, and but I'll keep my eyes open if I can get one or two just for the novelty. But
Yeah, so if you have single sprocket, it wouldn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. You can't
try
use
to
it.
Cut the film.
Yes,
yeah.
it would. So
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty rare stuff. I think even the silent film was always single sprocket because then they
okay.
cared. Like
Yeah.
the other side wasn't really needed.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think they worked it out.
Yeah, actually, now I think of it. I was Mr. Fleming suggested I get in touch with Mike Trickett. He might have some, so that's a possibility. I should get organised with that because it's a beautiful machine. God, they're well engineered. They're so. I mean, it's just a domestic machine, but from that period, they certainly built things well, and it's very quiet. It just hums along.
Right.
Yeah, little Bell and Howe. Just plays the small reels, but yeah, just a interesting little artifact.
Yeah, I haven't. So it's got Because if you have them project with one sprocket, it doesn't matter. It can play double sprocket film.
Yes, that's
but
right.
the other way around, it doesn't
You
work.
can't do it the other way around,
So
otherwise
it
you
must
just...
have been made before they even thought of sound.
Yeah, I think so. 1928, I think,
Yeah.
it's an early machine. But I mean, amazing, the globe still goes, everything. So yeah, it's got a little VU meter. It's got a little meter on the front, very official, and a nice base. But it's just a museum piece. But it's better than throwing it on the tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
that's good. So apart from that, what else? Anything exciting?
No other developments. No, I was happy to pass on a whole lot of 16-inch transcriptions to Jamie when he came over last night, so he'll clean those up and that'll be a good part of his collection. We were able to all the Ralph Knight stuff. I was able to get permission to pass that on to him. So
Excellent.
so that worked out very well. So he's got a few 3KZ rarities now that he didn't have before, and a few more Crawford records. So that'll unfolded nicely. So I'm pleased to get a few more records out of my way. I was tripping over.
So have you cleaned up all the records around your booth?
Yes, it's all sorted now, or much more. Anyhow, it's a lot tidier and more accessible, and yeah, that's been a good improvement. Now, Jamie did bring over last night a professional Denon cassette player he didn't need. So if anyone needs a cassette player, anyone's welcome to borrow it. If you want to do good cassette dubbings with a high-end 3-head machine, I think most people have cassette machines anyhow, but this is a DRS 810. It's pretty good for cassette dubbing. So one day I'll get organised and start dubbing my cassettes off.
Well, cassettes are another world because there's often stuff on there you even didn't know you had on them.
Okay.
Because they were such just a throwaway medium.
Yes.
Like old radio programs and stuff. You recorded something, went away, and the whole tape recorded anyhow.
Yeah.
And I've found some amazing stuff on cassettes.
Okay.
Old radio programs and things. And
Great.
A lot of presentation, ABC presentation, commercial presentation.
Oh, terrific.
And the quality, even the crap cassette, you can adjust the azimuth and the equalisation.
Yes.
The quality can be pretty good.
Yep, it certainly can.
Yep,
absolutely it can. So that's, always worth checking out cassettes, particularly the tops and tails at the ends where the interesting material often turns up in between other program material.
Yeah, that's right. It's I think I've dubbed most of my cassettes.
Yeah.
I put the red dot on them to prove they've been
yes.
dubbed.
Yes.
And
fair enough.
So all the red dot tapes could be thrown out, but I don't want to really.
Not yet.
No.
It's probably not worth it.
No,
It might be a
until
bit
they deteriorate.
yes, it's probably a bit premature to do it yet, but
and there always is a time you just cannot find that file, and you've got to go back to the tape and
That's right.
do it. It is a real tape.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's still a bit of a mute point is how robust are digital systems in the longer term and backwards compatibility, and I don't know how far what the sort of archive standards are and what the vision is for longer term, because we're probably, it may be a big solar flux event or something might render our, digital history.
Yeah, I think if they got a glass disc, you just burn them so they're not volatile. That'd be great, like a 15 gigabit or terabit disc. Just put all your stuff on.
Yep.
Just record once. You can't do anything with it, but that'd be great.
Yes, I think so. Something that's sort of more hardware oriented, but I'm still not quite reconciled to the permeability of digital media for the very longer term. When you think of these Edison cylinders here, right here, are 120 years old, they still play.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hopefully, our digital archives will hang around.
120 years, it's not 1,000 years like hieroglyphics or
Yeah, that's true.
Is there anything going to be available back then? We've discussed this before, but look, once it's zeros and ones, it can really be just impressed on any medium.
I suppose it can. It's theoretically it's absolute, isn't it? So
you can have 1,000 copies, and one's going to survive, hopefully. The Armageddon or whatever.
Oh yes.
And I think that's why that's why cylinders and 78s exist. There are so many made that although 99% have been destroyed, there's still
a
20
lot.
million of them left.
That's exactly it. That's it. That's one of the things that's been most interesting about this whole enterprise of engaging with old media, is just how much is still out there. And how much was produced, and the numbers of bands that recorded in the 20s, for instance. It's staggering. I had no idea.
It's only the last 5 years I've realised what a catalogue back to the 1800s almost of stuff that is available, and it was like I'd never heard an acoustic recording till the 80s or something.
Sure.
I think Mr. L had one. I listened to it. Oh, yeah, it doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
I thought, gee, that's a rarity, because we never had old 80-speed 78s, but they were electrical.
Yes.
And now they're just as common as whatever.
Yes,
and
yes.
cylinders are the same. And, there's so much that is being collected, and people have, now it's coming out.
Yes, that's right. It's all aggregated, it's packaged, it's accessible, and in vast quantities. And you just get a sense of how robust the recording, how prolific. How many recordings were made in the first decade of the 20th century?
It'd be interesting to work. I think the companies can actually work. It's tabulated how many recordings were made.
But it's staggering.
It's absolutely staggering. Yeah.
It's far in excess of what I ever imagined. And before I sort of got a bit more actively interested in all of this, I always thought it was a fairly limited resource. But my God, it's just, and you just every day there's just new, bizarre, interesting material.
They must have been the recording studios must have been open 9 till 5, just continuously working.
They must have worked all day, all night. They must have seen this as the new frontier, and they just ran with it. So it seems.
Yep. And, those shops with all the shelves with all the cylinders on them.
Yes, that's right.
And not to mention the Berliners and all that.
Oh yeah, I mean Berliners. I mean, geez,
they would just pump them out like two minutes each. Okay, come in, sing your song. Okay, next one, like a dentist,
Well, there's accounts of Edison and others. In the early days when they were making cylinders, they would just, the poor orchestra would have to play the same piece 100 times in a row.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Wouldn't it be terrible with a whole range of about 10 horns lined up facing them? and
some of the machines wouldn't get a good sound.
They wouldn't. You
could have bought a dodgy copy that was off mic.
Yes.
Off horn.
Yes.
It sounded a bit off, even more off than it was meant to be.
Yes, indeed.
And some would have been just sounding fantastic.
But of course, what it means is if you do happen to get one from each end of the room, you could get stereo. You probably could get reconstructed.
Stereomatic.
Yes, Stereomatic from 1895.
And the wow would be different stereo wow.
Yes, that's right.
And the speed, it'd be a bit hard to match them up because the speed wasn't the thing.
But all that could be done with software. Theoretically, you could have a stereo recordings. And they would probably sound stereo. If you had two machines equidistant in a curve, as they did, and those two cylinders, I mean, the chances of two surviving from the same session are almost zilch. But theoretically, if that did occur, it would be probably quite a nice stereo image.
It would be, yeah. Well, the accidental stereo where you had a record company and a radio company recording the same thing.
Yes.
They were sort of documented, I suppose.
Yes, that's right.
And
yes.
High quality stuff.
In the electric era.
I mean, I think the accidental stuff is I find it fascinating.
Last night I was just blown out of the water by those recordings of Fats Waller, and you hear the overtones of his voice, which you never ever hear. We're listening to those Vitatone transcription records that Jamie brought last night.
It was incredible. Actually.
It was incredible. Here, Fats Waller, who I always he's always a bit of muffle missions because he died in 1940 something, 42 or something, and so here are recordings from the 30s in true hi-fi, and it just sounded like he was in the room.
It did.
Incredible. And you realise that when you get that full sonic experience, it's so much more of the personalities revealed.
Top end adds an enormous amount.
It seems to, yeah. Fascinating.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
You only really need to go to 7K, but it's a lot different to 4. And just the whole tone of the voice changes.
It does. That's it.
And,
It's
amazing.
It's incredible stuff.
In terms of recognising voices, which I spend a lot of time doing, top end is enormously important.
Yeah, the overtones and the...
It certainly is, the overtones. Well, see, Mr. E realised that. He said you've got to record more than the fundamental frequency because the overtones actually make the give the signature of the voice or the
Yes, they
instrument.
characterise the sound.
Yep.
Yep.
And as we found out, often he got that, but they couldn't really hear it in the day.
It was more academic.
And certainly he couldn't.
No.
But yeah, it is amazing.
But he did recognise that fact and documented that fact, which is significant, I think.
Yeah. I remember, we used to listen to the radiogram and stuff at home, and then when I built a crystal set with the Brands BBC earphones.
Oh, yes.
And I put them on and I thought, this sounds like a real band. It sounds like real music. Of course, they went up, they were quite good, crap compared to modern headphones, but with good hearing of a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
They had quite good response, probably 15k or something.
Yes.
And it was totally overwhelmed by the 10kc intercarrier whistle.
Gosh.
But you could hear all these tings and sibilants in the music.
Yes.
And I thought, why is my crap crystal set sound better than the polished rosewood radiogram?
Yeah, than the radiogram. Isn't that it's
incredible?
Really,
yep.
It is a really interesting point. Yes, it was all there.
I did get the radiogram to the IF coils and made it sound, well, it was crap because it didn't pick anything up, but it did pick up the main stations in hi-fi.
Okay.
So we could hear Mr. Floyd in hi-fi.
Oh, yes, you got the full signature sound of his voice.
The radio doesn't seem to be as sprightly as it used to be. I don't know why that is, but it seems to sound okay. Oh, it's okay on Dr. Floyd, but I can't hear much in between the stations anymore.
I wonder why. Very good. Yeah, interesting stuff.
I think that was a lot to do with why broadcast FM was seen to be a lot better than broadcast AM.
Oh, yeah, it was fantastic. Although I must admit, I've put a Yamaha tuner here on the workbench. I've been listening to a few stations. FM, it isn't that. There's a lot of splats. It is actually not very, we're used to listening to high-quality YouTube clips and stuff. FM, because the sidebands actually, theoretically go to infinity, it seems, all the stations to me seem over-equalised and splatty. Maybe, although I can't hear as well as I used to, maybe I'm more attuned to quality now. I don't know.
You're probably listening for it more.
Yeah, it's just like, there's no digital artifacts, but there's a lot of, the high end is actually quite distorted.
That's
You
interesting.
have to listen on FM, particularly female voices just sound terrible.
Yes, they do. They sort of sound sibilant, or there's a sort of a
An edginess, isn't there?
Yeah, there is an edge. It's not a digital edge, but it's a distortion artifact.
It isn't actually hi-fi. And I think the thing is, in the 80s, when you listen to FM, there's so much high frequency that sounds so fantastic compared to AM. You didn't care about the distortion.
Yeah.
But now we can compare it to CDs.
That's it.
And digital, good digital. And I can see it is, I can see it's really good DAB should be fantastic. But it isn't because they cut the bandwidth and stuff.
Yes, that's right. They compromise inherently. Yeah.
So, FM, I think you've got to be very careful with the equalisation and compression. And a lot of stations don't care, and they go out of the bandpass.
Yes, interesting point.
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose.
And some car radios are terrible on FM. They've got like a narrow bandpass.
I know they are.
And everything just splats like mad.
Yep, that's so true. I know that. I've had that experience many times. Yeah, interesting point. But I think expectations change, how sort of our listening world evolves, and then so do our expectations.
Because I remember, when FM came in, some of the older guys would say, it sounds terrible. I prefer to listen to AM. Well, how could he even say that? But I can see maybe they're older, their hearing wasn't that good, and what they could hear on FM was distorted, whereas AM, there was none of that splat distortion. And they've probably got a point.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, I quite like the over-equalised sound to some extent.
Yeah.
But it seems to go bad on speech.
Yeah.
Like music is good, got lots of nice things. But
yes, that's right. It makes music seem sort of super real a bit.
Yeah, but when people talk, it's a splat.
Yes,
and
I know.
It's like off tune and it's terrible.
It's true. Yeah, the subjective virtues with music are it makes it sort of omnipresent and really sort of vital.
Yeah, just it adds the being in the room effect.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it does. There's a subjective something going on there. But you're right. With voice, it often is lackluster, and it doesn't measure up. But if you're listening to classical stuff, you don't get a lot of voice anyhow. But interesting point. Yeah.
There is like, you get sophisticated, processors for FM that are meant to get D-splat and D everything and make it sound better. But I don't think I really care.
I don't think they finely tune them,
No.
and I don't think they calibrate them and keep them, in their optimum range. But
Shame.
yeah, it is a pity. But yeah, a 3AW is still just transmitting to 5K on.
I think they've gone up. I haven't looked. I'll have to do another survey. I haven't looked at it for a while.
because that was a topic of interest a while back, wasn't it?
I think they've improved a bit.
Yeah.
So
Okay, because that was it was.
I don't know why they did that. It was terrible. Maybe they had a problem. Who knows?
They might have had something that they were working on, but
Yeah.
who knows?
3MP used to be relatively good, didn't they?
3MP. They used to just go to 15, 20k. They were amazing.
Okay.
I got the tape of their opening night here, and it's just super things like you wouldn't believe.
Oh my goodness.
It's,
Okay.
Because they were trying to make it sound like FM, and
Yeah.
they had all their tape and card machines were new, so they weren't
Yes.
buckled,
Yes.
and they had super equalisation to boost it even more.
Okay.
And on a half decent receiver, they really sounded very good.
Good. Did you record it off your AM3? Did you?
I think I recorded it off a modified, AM tuner, which I
yes.
widened. And
Yes.
it was the first night when they came on, and it was just like unbelievable amounts of high frequencies.
Oh well, good marketing strategy
Yes, that's
for
right.
the 1% of the audience who weren't listening on the radiogram or a transistor set.
That's right. So, no, they sound really good.
Yeah.
And of course, they had an ampliphase emitters.
Yeah.
So they
Sure.
didn't have to what. There's no. They could just unlimited bandwidth on that.
Yeah.
anyhow.
Of course. That's great.
So it was quite good.
Indeed.
Hang on a
Yeah.
sec.
Yep. All fine.
I used to have one of those auto fidelity AM tuners with the allegedly low distortion detector. It
Okay.
sounded pretty good.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Now, we were talking about this off air last night. In fact, we've got when the fests open up, we'll see if we can find Jamie something, because he's very keen to listen to the missions live. He doesn't have an AM receiver,
Yeah, that's right.
which tweaked up, so we'll have to sort something out so he can experience that.
Look, he might get a good signal from you if he had a loop outside or something.
I think so. Sure, he should in Ringwood. It's not that far.
It's interesting.
Should be okay. It's reasonable on Mr. Loop's site.
Yeah.
Go to 160 metres or 70 centimetres.
Well, you could probably receive both, but
You could, but I mean, in terms of just having one thing to listen to.
yeah, probably. You're probably better going for 160.
Yeah.
Look, I think you'd hear it. Whether you'd hear it inside is another matter.
Yeah.
Outside, I'm sure it'd be bash.
Yeah.
But inside, it'd be hopeless.
It may be, that's true, a bit of the Faraday cage inside the house.
And plug packs and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't really hear it in the garage, but I'll walk over the yard. It's
Yes,
fine.
it's right.
So, yeah, it'd be good if you get a 500 watt emitters, that'd be good.
Oh, yes, that's right. That would take care of everything then.
That's right. That's what we want.
And I'd be able to cook all the wildlife. I notice it's getting into some of the kids' systems around the house, which is not a problem. They're not in the slightest bit fazed by it, but my daughter said, the speakers in my room, I can quietly hear your missions. So, but look, it's not a problem. She's quite happy. But you'd expect that with a bit of extra power, as long as the neighbours are not... We had an event last night, though, because at about 3:30, we were playing these voluptuous orchestral scores of Louis Levy, and I switched on the main amp, and I forgot that the big speakers outside were switched in. And so it was pumping right out down the whole valley at 3:30 in the morning. These big... the Louis Levy and his Gourmet British Symphony, and off those English transcription records that Jamie brought. And we were enjoying it here, and suddenly Kate came in and said, "Do you realise that this is really loud outside?" It woke her up. And so sheepishly I had to quickly turn everything off. So, but there was no complaints, so I think it's all okay.
What time did you finish off last night?
Oh,
Did you go home?
4 a.m., yeah. It was it was a
Really?
late session last night. Yeah. Yeah, no, we went late, and yeah, no, a big sound outside in the valley would have all heard it.
You hear any more about
No,
that?
no, there's been no issue. I don't think. I think it was only for about 15 minutes. So yeah, I think,
Friday night people accepted, I suppose.
yes, I think so. Yeah.
But it's no worse than someone driving down the street with doof doof music.
Oh yes, that's right.
It
Yeah,
happens quite often.
it does.
Because we've got a through street, so it happens quite often here.
Yes,
Dum,
yes.
dum, 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 dum.
Yes, that's right. The Doppler effect.
Yes. And if you've got someone's in that car being blasted, yeah, I've done it. It's often the speakers in the house be turned on, they come on, and it's blasting out there in the house
Yeah,
at 100 watts or something.
yeah, that's right.
So, look, we'll have to organise a big speaker listening night. Or
We
evening,
must. That's on the
daytime.
cards. Yes, speaker tests. We'll have to do that, and we'll make that all happen because I'd be most interesting. And you've got the panels, don't you? So we can do a bit of drop in. Can we? Is that still a possibility, or it's probably a bit
I'll
inconvenient?
drop in speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got blank panels. I can drop in different speakers.
Yeah, we could possibly try that, but
And,
or maybe in the short term we just try out some of that. Be interesting to try out that other set, that Jamo set.
Yeah, look, I like to try them out.
See what they're like. But you need a big amp. But you've got a 500 watt amp, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be...
Yeah.
Look, even, look, I run the RCA's about 2 watts at 100 dB.
Yeah, yeah.
If I'm running it at 50 watts, surely it's going to be loud enough.
Yes, but the design philosophy of modern speakers is they're really inefficient. They're only about 85 dB efficiency, as opposed to your RCA's would be about 105.
But if you listen on the same level and you see what the loudest you can get at the inefficient speakers,
Yes, as long as you're not going.
they should sound the same at the same level, you'd think.
You'd
Otherwise, they're not
think,
linear.
but you need overheads and you need something for transients, and it needs to sort of, you need to be power in excess. I just all I know is that those high-end speakers were designed to be used with 100 to 150 watt amplifiers, but that was that.
Well, I'll test them out.
But we'll try them out and see what happens. They might be all right. They've got about 4 drivers in it, and they're all running parallel, so you think that'd make them more efficient.
I mean, I do have a 400 watt amp, but I can't even imagine having to use that sort of power.
No, you wouldn't use you wouldn't use that power. But I think it's the transients and just getting its weight in the sound. They need a little bit more drive, perhaps. But look, who knows?
Have you got big power amps there?
No, I don't. No, everything here is just sort of valvey amps and lower power. But the RCA's, you can drive them with a 10 watt amp. They sound terrific.
Yeah, I mean, I could bridge up a couple of 50 watt amps or something.
Oh, look, we could try something anyhow.
Yeah,
Give it a go. See
Look,
what
I think
happens.
you can tell. You can tell when you click them onto the speaker connector leads where just the resonance. You can just tell.
Yes, I know you can. That's true.
I mean, you don't just a bit of noise. You can just tell if a good speaker, bad speaker. But anyway, it'd be interesting to do that. We'll have it come around. It's not too hot, not too cold, not too windy, not
That's
too
right.
many people
Find the
around.
ideal. Yes,
And hopefully everyone will be out, but no one will be. So let's
Yeah.
go to the other end of the house.
that's right.
And
No, we can do that. That'll be most excellent. It'll be good to do the big speaker missions and see what's happening. Yeah, but the RCA's we're using them in the house a lot more these days, and they just breathe. They're such beautiful speakers. They're amazing. They're really in a class of their own. Even if they're a bit coloured, that doesn't matter. It's just it's the way that they. There's a sort of involving quality, I suppose. Big cone pressuring the room.
I must make some more cabinets. Now
Yeah.
I've got the design.
Yes.
I think probably the overkill, the last one I made. Like it's like 1.5 inch thick wood. You probably
Yeah.
used, with, 3/4 inch marine ply.
Well, don't forget Mr. What's his name? The Briggs, Mr. Briggs, with his sand-filled baffles. He thought that having a very inert panel was fundamental.
I can't tell the difference between the thick wood and the commercial box.
Yeah.
So, and the other trouble, the thick wood, you really can't move it. It's like very hard to move.
Yes, I can appreciate that.
Whereas the other one, you can actually slide it around.
The other one's marine ply, isn't it?
Yeah, just marine ply. So maybe I'll get some of that. And
Yeah, that's probably just as good. Long as
because they sound just fantastic in those boxes.
Oh, they do.
And I'll make a few. Anyway,
yes.
I guess a little bit. Let
Yes.
you get back to what it is you're talking about, or music.
I don't know what we're talking about. We were playing an Edison cylinder before.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know. Is one here? What's this one? This one looks interesting. It says in my aeroplane for two. Now this is pre-1910. So aeroplanes for two in that era would have been fairly
bit rare.
bit rare, bit primitive, I think. So we might just slap it on. I have no idea if this even works. So we'll wind it up and have an Edisonia. This one looks like it might be an Edison or an Edison Bell, and see what happens. So in my aeroplane for two is the name of the track. So in the groove. Am I right? I haven't switched it in. I've got to do the right thing here. Am I switched?
Hold the aeroplane flying around, and motor soon will take trips to the moon instead of going far underground. Just think of the fun, how the crowd you can shun, for the spooning birds will be okay. Instead of George taking his lady by train, he'll pop round and order his new aeroplane and implore all those sweet ladies to wear. In my aeroplane for two, I will sail away with you. Don't waste any more time below. Let's get married and up we'll go in my aeroplane for two. For miles and miles we'll fly. Oh, what a sensation, a honeymoon in the sky. In my aeroplane for two, I will sail away with you. Don't waste any more time below. Let's get married and up we'll go in my aeroplane for two. For miles and miles we'll fly. Oh, what a sensation, a honeymoon in the
And at that point we'll fade out because the cylinder has seen better days. But it's just a topic of interest. It's yes, aeroplanes in the early days of the century.
It was like fads. When you look at old stuff and recordings and newspapers, there's fads, weren't there? Like the yo-yo fads or whatever.
That's right, yes.
That's all the way through. But look, I think all your records you played are pretty stuffed. I think if you played a good record, it would sound okay on that system.
Oh, I think so. I think it'd be
it's just the
fine.
record.
Yes, these are really mouldy old cylinders, but yeah, look, just trying it out, and yeah, look, it is it's always interesting when there's something mentioning a technology of the time or a something that was something we take for granted now, and it's sort of interesting to hear it in its infancy.
Well, aeroplanes would have been fantastic. Then actually going up in the air, only a few years after the Wrong brothers.
Yeah, that's it. And I think this is pretty early. Let me have a look at it. Yeah, it's a Clarion. No wonder it sounds bad. See, this is rare. This is a Clarion cylinder. Now that's not even. It's a one of those small boutique companies around the turn of the century, the early days, and so this box has got a whole lot of Sterlings, Clarions, White cylinders, Edison Bells, and Columbias. So that's what I thought it would be interesting to bring out. So that I don't even know who the artist is on that, but yeah, that's just an interesting artifact.
It's interesting when you think that they were doing recordings before aeroplanes were in the air.
That's right. Before there was any mainstream air
Apart from
industry.
balloons.
Exactly. Yeah.
So aeroplanes came up afterwards. And,
Definitely well before the First World War. So, but I was just sifting before and I found the bum record, the Hallelujah I'm a Bum on one side and the Bum Song,
Oh, yeah.
the Song of the Tramp on the other side.
Hallelujah, bum again.
Yes, so we'll have to have the Bum Song.
I remember thinking that was a really rude record. I heard it when I was about 6. I was quite intrigued.
Yes, well, the Bum Song, it's got in brackets after the title, it says, incidentally, the Song of the Tramp. So
That's right.
that needs that point of clarification because
I
otherwise...
had that explained to me.
That's right, otherwise people might get the wrong idea.
Well, that's right.
So we can have a listen. I knew I had this record here somewhere and I just found it yesterday. So...
Good song.
Yeah. So,
Country song.
It is a country song from 1930-odd. Thereabouts. In this instance, it's Vernon Dalhart. So we'll hear the Bum Song on an old Regal 78.
Come all you jolly jokers and listen while I hum a story I'll relate to you of the great American bum. From east to west, from north to south, like a swarm of bees they come. They sleep in the dirt and wear a shirt that's dirty and full of crumbs. Oh, it's early in the morning ere the dew is off the ground. The bum arises from his nest and gazes all around. From the boxcar and the haystack, he gazes everywhere. He never turns back upon his track until he gets a square. I beat my way from Frisco Bay to the rock-bound coast of Maine, to Canada and Mexico, then wandered back again. I've met town clowns and harnessed bulls as tough as a cop could be, and I've been in every calaboose in this land of liberty. I've topped the spruce and worked the sluice and taken a turn at the plow. I've searched for gold in the rain and cold and worked on a river scow. I've dug the clam and built the dam and packed the elusive prune, but my troubles pale when I hit the trail of packing my old balloon. Oh, standing in the railroad yards a-waiting for a train, waiting for a westbound freight, but think it's all in vain. Going east, they're loaded, going west, steel tight. I think we'll have to get aboard the fast express tonight. Oh, lady, would you be kind enough to give me something to eat? A piece of bread and butter and a 10-foot slice of meat. A piece of pie of custard to tickle my appetite. For really I am so hungry I don't know where to sleep tonight. Good morning, Mum.
Good morning, Bum.
I just got in.
Yes? Well, you can just get out again.
But, lady, I'm traveling.
Well, keep right on traveling. Who's keeping you?
Honest, Mum, I don't know where my next meal is coming from.
And did you think this was the Information Bureau?
Lady, haven't you a bite to eat in the house?
I have that, and a 6-foot husband coming home at 5 o'clock to eat it. On your way now.
All right. Goodbye, Mum.
Goodbye, Bum.
Oh, sleeping against the station, tra-la-la-la-la-lation. That's our recommendation. Hurrah, hooray, hurrum. For we are 3 bums, 3 jolly old bums. We live like royal Turks. We have good luck in bumming our chuck, and we never bother the works. I met a man the other day I never had met before. He asked me if I wanted a job shoveling iron ore. I asked him what the wages were, and he said 10 cents a ton. I said, old fella, go chase yourself. I'd rather be on the bum. Oh, sleeping in the pogies, ogie, ogie, ogies, smoking snipes and stogies. Hurrah, hooray, hurrum. For we are 3 bums, 3 jolly old bums. We live like royal Turks. We have good luck in bumming our chuck. God bless the man that works.
And there we have Vernon Dalhart from 1930. Definitely Depression's Fair, that record. And the Bum Song. So
The other side.
that's a timestamp, isn't it, that record?
Very much so.
It's really all about the Depression. And fascinating, actually. And the other side is Hallelujah, I'm a Bum. And then,
That's the one I know.
yeah, and then in brackets it says, I'm a tramp. They just want to make that completely clear.
Yeah.
And but it is interesting because this record came out right at the beginning of the Depression. So let's hear Hallelujah. I'm a bum. Hallelujah. Bum again. And this is vk3sl testing.
Rejoice and be glad, for the springtime has come. We can throw down our shovels and go on the bum. Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Hallelujah, bum again. Hallelujah, give us a handout to revive us again. The springtime has come, and I'm just out of jail, without any money, without any bail. Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Hallelujah, bum again. Hallelujah, give us a handout to revive us again. I went to a house and I rapped on the door, and the lady says, bum, bum, you've been here before. Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Hallelujah, bum again. Hallelujah, give us a handout to revive us again. I like Jim Hill, he's a good friend of mine. That is why I am hiking down Jim Hill's main line. Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Hallelujah, bum again. Hallelujah, give us a handout to revive us again. I went to a house and I asked for some bread, and the lady says, bum, bum, the baker is dead. Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Hallelujah, bum again. Hallelujah, give us a handout to revive us again. Why don't you work like other men do? Now how can I work when there's no work to do? Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Hallelujah, bum again. Hallelujah, give us a handout to revive us again. Why don't you save all the money you earn? If I didn't eat, I'd have money to burn. Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Hallelujah, bum again. Hallelujah, give us a handout to revive us again. Now I don't like work, and work don't like me, and that is the reason I am so hungry. Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Hallelujah, bum again. Hallelujah, give us a handout to revive us again.
Yeah, quite interesting stuff, actually. It's a bit of a double message there.
It's a bit of history.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's,
One of my favourite Depression songs is that Brother, Can You Spare a Dime? You know?
Yeah, that's a terrific song. It's a very powerful song.
It is very powerful.
Yeah, and I remember you mentioned that recording of Bing Crosby. He sang it beautifully.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, that was interesting. Yeah, well, I could probably see if we got it here. We can do a quick look up, and yeah, beautiful song, very powerful.
I like those bum songs.
Yeah, the bum songs are good. Yes, Vernon Dalhart giving us the state of affairs during the Depression, but there is a bit of a double message because he's sort of, in one sense, he's sort of avowing himself as a ne'er-do-well, and in the next breath, it's a circumstantial thing. So, yes.
Well, even the ne'er-do-wellness might be to do with circumstances, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But it's sort of left a little bit in the balance for the listener to
True,
decide.
yeah. There's that element of being a bit of a layabout, isn't there?
Well, I suppose they're trying to, appeal to people with different perspectives on the whole issue.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, Crosby, brother, can you spare a dime? This
was written in 31, I think.
Was it really? Yeah.
It was very current.
Yes, I've still got the... weren't those recordings of Fred Elizalde just unbelievable last night?
Quite amazing.
I just thought that there's another frontier. Now, he was completely misunderstood. He was sacked from the Savoy Hotel.
He was too good for it.
It was too. People just didn't understand that sort of music.
Too good.
Yeah, but just so interesting. I found I was holding on to every moment in that piece. I found myself locked in, crystal locked, and listening for everything because every turn there was something musically interesting.
Yeah, I know those lovely little changes that he did.
Yeah, absolutely. It was such good music. I'm going to have to do more missions on Fred Elizalde. He was a fascinating character, and he went back to the Philippines and. I think he's Spanish, but he lived in the Philippines. So
Yeah, well, a big connection there.
Yeah, so I think it's Spanish origin, but he sort of lived out his days there, and he didn't sort of gave up with the establishment in London, which is sort of tragic, really.
It's a waste, isn't it?
Huge waste, because he was doing these amazing things in the late 20s, early 30s. Might dial another one of his up after this. Let's have a listen to Brother, Can You Spare a Dime with Bing Crosby, following on with our Depressions theme.
They used to tell me I was building a dream, and so I followed the mob. When there was earth to plow or guns to bear, I was always there, right on the job. They used to tell me I was building a dream, with peace and glory ahead. Why should I be standing in line, just waiting for bread? Once I built a railroad, I made it run, made it race against time. Once I built a railroad, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime? Once I built a tower up to the sun, brick and rivet and lime. Once I built a tower, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime? Once in khaki suits, gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee doodly-dum. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell, and I was the kid with the drum. Say, don't you remember, they called me Al. It was Al all the time. Why don't you remember, I'm your pal. Say, buddy, can you spare a dime? Once in khaki suits, ah, gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee doodly-dum. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell, and I was the kid with a drum. Oh, say, don't you remember, they called me Al. It was Al all the time. Say, don't you remember, I'm your pal. Buddy, can you spare a dime?
Yeah, a very impassioned performance there by Bing.
Yeah, he gave it all, didn't he?
Yeah, for 1932.
Brought out the poignancy really well.
It certainly did, yeah. There's a power about his singing. I've sort of, really, I mean, I've always enjoyed Crosby's singing, but I particularly found a connection with it in recent times, and it was quite prescient that, that Jamie brought those open reel tapes from the Crosby Society. And,
yeah, that's right. I had a smile about that.
Yeah, incredible. Actually, I've had a sample of them today. There's about 20 tapes, and they were made in the 60s, and someone's gone through all these movies. I think it must have been done overseas, and they've gone through the movies and dubbed off the soundtracks off the 35mm prints.
What a job that'd be.
Enormous job. and they've since been released on LP. But these are the master recordings which were used for the LP releases. So it's quite significant, really. I mean, they're a bit muffle missions. That's the only thing, because the optical soundtracks are far from optimal.
Yeah, sure.
But nevertheless, it's a nice sort of collection of Crosby mania. And vast.
I really like early Crosby. He trails off a bit into the 60s.
Oh, look, I think so. I think his commercial output from the early 30s onwards, it really doesn't really resonate with me. I think in the films he's a lot better, and I think in the movies themselves, I think the things are a little bit more animated. The stuff I was listening to today, I thought, wow, this is a cut above what I've used to hearing.
I love all those duets that he does, though, with Armstrong and Sinatra even.
That's right. Yes, he was really involved with. I think it was a good move to sort of offset with other artists. He did some great stuff with Connie Boswell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Look, I've got one lined up here. I'll have to finish with this because I've got to go inside and do stuff.
I've got to go and eat too.
Yeah, but look, this is one of these recordings that we just talked about, and this is an amalgam of his road movies. So we've got tracks from Road to Morocco, Road to Utopia, Road to Victory, All-Star, Bond, Rally, Dixie, Last Rose of Summer, the whole stack of them here. I won't play it all, but all from the 40s. So these excerpts of Crosby direct from the films, and part of that resource that I was mentioning. So I think I'll just run with it for a bit. It's, as I said, it's a little bit muffly, but nevertheless, it's interesting stuff. And we'll return back here tomorrow. So all being well, we'll be back at the fold tomorrow afternoon. I don't think there's anything else happening tomorrow.
No.
If it's a nice day, I might see if I can set up outside. See how we go.
Sounds good. I might hear some more live music.
Oh, gosh, yes. Incidentally, you might. Yeah.
That was the highlight for me, I'd have to say, in all honesty. The live music last night.
Right. Oh, okay. Yes, a little bit of a concert.
I'm going to play it to Kathy.
Oh, right. I didn't play very well, but it was good. It was good fun, and you just live music's very important. All right. Well, look, we'll go with this. This Crosby pastiche, and from the Bing Crosby Society, and I'm not really sure exactly what the origins of these tapes are, but they're recorded in the 60s, and I think it frames Crosby in a better light than a lot of his commercial records, which are just a bit too commercial for me. So directly off the films in this instance. So I've got this on a 7-inch tape and on the Q Master. And we'll run with this for the next 20 minutes, half an hour or so.
I'll say vk3sl says in the evening.
Yeah, thanks, Frank, and thanks for your company last night. It was great. Good
and
fun.
Thank you. It was one of your hospitality. It was a great night.
Yeah, it was good fun. All right, and thanks, Dave, for
Thank you, Dave.
catching up. That was good. And we'll see you all soon. This is vk3sl saying cheerio.
vk3sl.
We're off on the road to Morocco. This taxi is tough on the spine. Beats the bus and you beats me. Where we're going, why we're going, how can we be sure? I'll lay you 8 to 5 that we meet Dorothy Lamour. Off on the road to Morocco. Hang on till the end of the line. I hear this country's where they do the dance of the 7 bells. We tell you more, but we would have to censor on our tales. We certainly do get around. Like Webster's dictionary, we're Morocco bound. We're off on the road to Morocco. Look out, well, clear the way, 'cause here we come. The men eat fire, sleep on nails, and saw their wives in half. It seems
Seems to me there should be easier ways to get a laugh. We're off on the road to Morocco, and somewhere I feel kind of numb. For any villains we may meet, we haven't any fear. Paramount will protect us 'cause we're signed for 5 more years. We certainly do get around like a complete set of Shakespeare that you buy at the corner drugstore for $1.98. We're Morocco bound. Or like a volume of Omar Khayyam that you buy at the department store at Christmas time for your cousin Julia. We're Morocco bound. Becomes you, it goes with your hair. You certainly know the right thing to wear. Moonlight becomes you. I'm thrilled at the sight, and I could get so romantic tonight. You're all dressed up to go dreaming. Now don't tell me I'm wrong. And what a night to go dreaming. Mind if I tag along? If I say I love you, I want you to know it's not just because there's moonlight, although moonlight becomes you so. Moonlight becomes you. What a beautiful view. Moonlight and you. You're all dressed up to go dreaming. Now don't tell me I'm wrong. And what a night to go dreaming. Mind if I tag along? If I say I love you, I want you to know it's not just because there's moonlight, although moonlight becomes you so. Ain't got a dime to my name, what a terrible shame. Ho hum, ho ho hum. Just found a hole in my shoe and my stocking shows through. Ho hum, ho ho hum. I know that when you're as free as a bird in a tree, life is a wonderful whim. Look at the crank with his dough in the bank. Don't you feel sorry for him? Rolling along at a loss, never gathering moss. Ho hum, ho 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 hum. Take it. I'm no terrific success. I ought to worry, I guess. Oh hum, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I like a shady old tree. What's the matter with me? Oh, hum. Oh, 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 hum. There's nothing quite as grotesque as a man at a desk looking outside at the sun. Shirts made of silk and a diet of milk. Maybe he thinks he has fun. I've got the vagabond itch. Guess I'll never get rich. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I don't care where I'm going, just as long as I'm with you. Put it there, pal. Put it there. You know, I saw Let's Face It.
Yes, and I saw Dixie, too.
Big picture, huh? Put it there, pal. Put it there. This country's full of wolves, but you should make 'em laughing stocks. The girls are fond of blubber, and the igloos have no locks.
Oh, you'll wow the lady Eskimos. They don't wear bobby socks.
You're so faithful and so fair. Hit me with your biscuit hook, ain't
Coming
that?
up with some hot skin. You've got that something in your voice so right for selling cheese.
Put it there, pal. Put it there. I think your jokes are great.
You?
Just that folks are hard to please.
Yeah.
Your hand, sir.
Put that back in the bowl.
Your face could make a fortune. Just your nose should make a lot.
I like the way you wear those gaudy colored shirts you got. The only time a rainbow ever covered up a pot.
We make a perfect pair. Put it there.
My colleague.
My crony.
My cohort.
My friend.
Companion.
Confederates.
Chums to the end.
Like meat and potatoes.
Or salt and tomatoes.
Boy, what a plan. Don't put it in the paper. Don't put it on the air. Don't put it on the shelf. Put it there. Everybody here knows Good Time Charlie. Charlie is a perfect clown. Always kills the folks with funny jokes and turns the parlor upside down. Everybody sure likes Good Time Charlie. No one ever saw him frown. But here's the funniest part. Down deep in his heart, he's the lonesomest man in town. Charlie, why are you on this mad merry-go-round? I'm your friend. Oh, you can tell me, Charlie. You're wasting your life away. Someday you'll be old and all alone. Think it over. You're not fooling me, Charlie. It's your childhood sweetheart. Ah, but you're a great, great man. Great to take it the way you have. And you're doing the right thing. Laugh! Ha ha ha! Dance! Play the fool! He's the lonesomest man in town. The lonesomest man in town. A 2, a 3, a 4. He's always good for a laugh, but you don't know the half. He's only happy-go-lucky till the lights are turned down. Then he's the lonesomest man in town.
Come in.
Well, you can take the lantern out of the windowsill, gal. Mighty McGurk is home.
Sit down, make yourself cozy.
I don't mind if I do.
Well, this is more like it. You're quite a panic with the ladies, aren't you?
Oh, man, I'm murder when I make my move. Murder.
Tell me, how you do it?
Well, it's the usual routine. Flowers, Sunday dinner at home with the folks, make a little character, you know. Take her for a ride in the park, sing her a little song, and then, sing a little song.
The song that does it, huh?
Well, you know, it sort of limbers them up a little.
That song may be just what we need here tonight.
Oh, baby, you and me don't need no stale...
Come on. You're not going anywhere. Let's hear you practice what you preach.
Welcome to my dream. And how are you? Will you be here long? Or just passing through? Brush off that stardust. Where have you been? Don't tell me your rainbow was late getting in. Welcome to my dream. It now seems real. You're what it needed to make it ideal. Welcome to my dream. And how are you? Will you be here long, or just passing through? Brush off that stardust. Where have you been? Don't tell me your rainbow was late getting in. Welcome to my dream. It now seems real. You're what it needed to make it ideal. So glad you got here. I hope you can stay. But welcome to my dream anyway.
What's the matter, gal? Want another chorus?
Later. Midnight? My apartment?
What for? I'm here now.
A cozy little supper?
I'm not hungry. I'll go work up an appetite.
You think that money is everything, and yet it's anybody's spring. Go make a fortune, become a king, and still it's anybody's spring. And if you flash a bankroll, do you suppose the brook would care? Or the heather rose would say, hey, there goes a millionaire. It's more than diamonds around a ring, because it's anybody's spring. You may be born with a silver spoon, and yet it's anybody's moon. You couldn't buy a ticket to hear the first robin sing. It's free because it's anybody's spring.
I can play one of these?
You could beat the monkey alone.
you couldn't buy a ticket to hear the first robin sing, it's free because it's anybody's spring.
Very nice, very nice. Now for the winner. Line right up here, folks, please. Right up here.
You're wasting time.
That's
silly boy. Next time I bring Sinatra.
Get on, get on, get on the road to victory. Get off, get off, get off the rusty dusty and get on, get on, get on the road to victory. Buy another bond today. Get up, get up, get up tomorrow morning. Get down, and give another pint of blood. Get 1, get 10, get 50 victory bonds again, for you can win the war that way. When you're safe at home this evening from the factory, you can write that lonely soldier overseas. You can tell him that you're working at the factory, but compared to him you live a life of ease. So you better get on, get on, get on the road to victory. Get off, get off, get off the rusty dusty and get on, get on, get on the road to victory and buy another bond today. Thinking that was all you'd ever need to get. Well, the Army has been fighting since the last time, and they haven't laid a rifle down as yet. So you better get on, get on, get on the road to victory. Get off, get off, get off the rusty dusty and get on, get on, get on the road to victory and buy another bond today. Buy a bond, and by, the bonds you buy'll bring you victory. Buy a bond, and you'll be standing by the victory arch when Johnny comes marching home again. Oh, you should need no request, for after all, you know that you're investing in the best. Till the lads come back again, back the old attack again. Buy bond. This is no time to say you've done enough. This is the time to really do your stuff. And even if you can't be a soldier in the ranks, you can be the guy to help supply the guns and planes and tanks. This is the time for you to do your best. This is no time for you to take a rest. The enemy is reeling and his morale is low. So now's the time to fall in line and deal the final blow. Buy a bond. And by, the bonds you buy'll bring you victory. Buy a bond. And you'll be standing by the victory arch when Johnny comes marching home again. Oh, you should need no request. Buy a bond. For after all, you know that you're investing in the best.
till the lads come back again, back to the old attack again, and bye, bye, bye. I wish I was in the land of cotton, old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. In Dixieland where I was born in early on a frosty morning. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Then I wish I was in Dixie, hooray, hooray. In Dixieland I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Won't you tell me when we will meet again? Sunday, Monday, or always? If you're satisfied, I'll be at your side. Sunday, Monday, or always? No need to tell me now what makes the world go round. When at the sight of you my heart begins to pound, pound. And what am I to do? Can't I be with you Sunday, Monday, or always?
I bet you was a lying with the lady.
Oh, yes, brother, and you ain't lying. You remember that little girl you saw me with last night?
Well, ain't she grand? In case you meet her, which you might, well, you simply got to understand she's from Missouri. You'd know it right away. She's from Missouri. Be careful what you say. Don't try to fool her. Oh, what a fool you'd be when she has those eyes that say, you gotta show me, we'll soon be sweethearts. Her glances tell me so, yet when I ask her, she sighs and answers no. I don't believe her. I'll tell you why. She's from Missouri, but so am I. She's from Missouri, and not from any other place. You know it right, because it's written on her face. She's from Missouri, and just as sweet as any rose. Be careful what you'd be surprised at what she knows. Don't try to fool her. What a fool you'd be when she has those wonderful eyes. Well, what do they say? You gotta show me. Well, yes, sirree. I don't believe her. I'll tell you why, and a very good reason why. She's from Missouri, but so am I. By the way, have you tried going out for a little buggy ride with a girl by your side and a horse that knows the way back home? Summer sky, rosy lanes, while a lark in the meadow entertains, and you can drop the rein with a horse that knows the way back home. And between all the farms, you can then use your arms to express what you long to say. And you won't mind at all if the horse wants to stall just to try out some new mown hay. So if you should decide to go out for a little buggy ride and perhaps win a bride. Get a horse that knows the way, either black or brown or gray, but a horse that knows the way back home. By the way, have you tried going out for a little buggy ride with a girl by your side and a horse that knows the way back home? Get a horse that knows the way back, either black or brown or sway back. Get a horse that knows the way back home.
This is vk3sl. We're testing here on 160 and on UHF, listening to excerpts from Bing Crosby films from the 1940s. I think these are mostly road films. These are from a set of tapes that came from the Bing Crosby Society. And they were later released on LPs, but these are the master tapes. Well, not really master tapes, but you know what I mean. Direct off the motion pictures. That's the sort of the edit that they used. So we have them here, and we might as well play them. vk3sl.
When you are near me, I can dream with ease, and I'm yours, my darling, if you please.
Get out the way, old man sucker. Get out the way, old man sucker. Get out the way, old man sucker. You're too late for the come to summer. Come to town the other night. I hear the noise of cedar pipe. The watchman was a running round, crying, old man suckers, come to town. Get out the way, old man sucker. Get out the way, old man sucker. Get out the way, old man sucker. You're too late for the come to summer.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
It's surprising how seldom, if ever, you meet a person who's always kind and sweet. Call it childish, no backbone, all fancy or whim. But I know a person you'd like him. Just a ragged old grin, a pocket of crumbs, a friend of the birds in town. And the people all call him kind of peculiar brown. And whenever it rains, he carries a broom for sweeping the dark clouds down. And the people all call him kind of peculiar brown. And he's always finding sunbeams in his flower bed, and the people smile and shake their heads. But they're going to
funny old man who never learned how to frown. And the people will try and never know why. Or kind of peculiar brown. I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times done, am not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland, in Dixieland.
I smell something. It's this song. No, I smell smoke. This song ain't that hot.
Morning, look away, look away.
Wait, we're on fire. It's Emmett's pipe again.
Then I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland, I'll cook my stand, live and die in Dixie. Away, away down south in Dixie. Away down south in Dixie.
Come on, boys, on your feet. Join me in song. Pretty soon we're going to run out of this.
In Dixieland, where I was born, it's early on a frosty morning. Look away, away, away.
Faster.
And I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland, I'll put my stand to live and die. Dixie, away, away, away down south to Dixie. Away, away, away down south to Dixie.
Come on, everybody sing.
I wish I was in the land of cotton, no cotton, not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. In Dixieland, where I was born in early on the frosty morning. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Then I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland, I put my stand to live and die. Dixie, away, away, away down south to Dixie. Away, away, away down south to Dixie. Is the last rose of summer left blooming alone? Won't you tell me when we will meet again? Sunday, Monday, or always? If you're satisfied, I'll be at your side. Sunday, Monday, or always. No need to tell me now what makes the world go round. When at sight of you, my heart begins to pound and pound. And what am I to do? Can't I be with you? I love you someday, Monday, or always. From a forest clearing in the North Main woods, or a wagon crossing in Ohio, there started a song. Someone added a note, someone added a word, and soon the wide world heard. Oh, pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which it stands. We used to say that when we were kids. That, a lot of other words we didn't understand. We didn't know what they meant then. None of this crowd knew.
Yeah? What do they mean now, buddy?
What do they mean now? Why, everybody knows that, mister. How about Washington? I mean all three. George and Martha, Booker T. Union Pacific and Oregon Trail.
Hi, Captain.
Howdy, Bill. Didn't we meet at Bunker Hill, the Alamo, Belleauwood, Anzio? Oh, this is your future, yours and mine. There aren't any Germans or Japs who can push us off our hard-won, homemade Rand McNally map. Of mercy, there's so much to do. The heavens are gray overhead. Angels of mercy, they're calling to you. So march with your crosses of red. March where the darkness shuts out the light. March where there is no dawn. Angels of mercy, worlds covered with night, but your mercy goes marching on. Angels of mercy, through darkest night, your mercy goes marching.
Angels of mercy, there's so much to do. The heavens are gray overhead. Angels of mercy, they're calling to you. So march with your crosses of red.
Oh, march where the darkness shuts out the light. March where there is no dawn. Angels of mercy, the world's covered with night, but your mercy goes marching on. Angels of mercy, through darkest night, your mercy goes marching.
You've been listening to a selection of soundtracks from Bing Crosby films from the 1940s. And we've been hearing Road to Morocco, Road to Utopia, Road to Victory, and then All-Star Bond Rally. Gosh, didn't know about half these films. Dixie, 1943, and Star Spangled Rhythm, 42. Angels of Mercy was the last one. That's 42 as well. Yeah, these are sort of non-commercial Bing Crosby selections via the Bing Crosby Society, apparently. So these are open reel tapes. It's quite a collection of them here, and we'll sample them here and there hearing Mr. Crosby in his zenith. This is vk3sl testing on 160 and on UHF, streaming online as well, and we look forward to your company tomorrow.
I'm too fat. I'm a rat. And if you don't like the way I croon, I'm just a goon. And if you don't say you think that I'm okay, that isn't any way to be. What we need is plain old harmony. Would you join me? Harmony, harmony. Imagine Minneapolis without St. Paul. It's harmony. That's all. If you say all my jokes are bad, I'm a cat. And if you make cracks about my beak, I'm just weak, no character. If you don't shout that I'm a darn good scout, I think you must be out of key. Who, me? What we need is good old harmony. Ha ha ha, mahoney. Ha ha ha, mahoney. Would Rigoletto sound the same with no quartet? Well, that's harmony, Jack. You bet.